Little Victory's here, and today I have a how-to pre-grade and clean cards video for you today. But first, I want to thank everyone who buys from me on eBay. Sales have been really good lately, especially since this past weekend. I created a 20% off sale, and my slabs have been moving pretty quickly. So I recommend doing that if you want a little sales boost to your eBay store. It looks like my 90-day sales are around $53,000 to $54,000, and my 30-day is around $22,000, which is definitely up and a really good sign. I probably sold like 50 to 60 items just this past weekend alone, and I'd say my normal average is probably only 10 slabs a day that I sell. So great timing because I got all of my 2023 taxes to pay for. All right, I've been getting a lot of comments asking for a how I pre-grade and clean cards video. I'm sure I've made some in the past, but I thought I would make another one for all my new subscribers or anyone it might help out again. So in this video, you will watch me pre-grade 10 cards, showing you how I clean and what I look for along the way. So the materials you will need is a nice bright lamp. I use a basic arm swivel lamp that attaches to a desk or table, shown here. That way you can adjust it. You can bring it down close because you want it close to the card so you can look at the card at different angles, both front and back. So along with that, you're going to need new clean penny sleeves, and then you're going to need Card Saver ones. It is the bigger semi-rigid case right here for grading submissions. I like the Cardboard Gold brand on these ones. They are affordable. And also you will need two nice soft microfiber cloths or glass your glasses cleaning cloths. That's what I use right here. I like them because they are a perfect size for the cards. So you will need one damp one. I just put a little water right there, and one dry one right there. Also, you will need one thin, soft dress sock. I use my trusty Superman one. The dress sock is for cards with wax stains or stubborn debris or food on the card that's just really stuck to the card. This is what you're gonna need right here, right there. Okay, so that's it. That's all I use. I don't use any Kurt's Card Care stuff or anything like that. I don't put any foreign substances on my cards. Also, I've been grading for so long that I have a kind of a trained eye, so I don't use any kind of jeweler loop, but at least I don't use it on my own cards. But if you are just starting out grading, I recommend using a jeweler's loop, and you can just get them on Amazon. I mean, you can pretty much buy anything on Amazon right here. So here's the jeweler loop. You can kind of look through, magnifies, and you can see the flaws a little more clear. All right. So let's go ahead and get started with the first card. All right, first card up was that 92 Upper Deck Jerry West Selects, Michael Jordan. Okay, first thing I do is look at the centering, and I can already tell it's off left to right. And how I can tell that is I'm looking at the Upper Deck logo. This gap to the end here to this gap to the end need to be pretty equal. And you can tell it's thin on the left, very thin. So it's off left to right. Next what I do is I look at the corners, and I can already tell, it's pretty glaring right there, some white showing in the bottom left. The other corners look pretty good, I would say. Yeah, they look pretty nice. Now what I will do is look at the surface. And what I mentioned before, that under the nice light, you're going to rotate the card at different angles so you can really see the surface if there's any kind of flaws or indents or anything like that. The surface actually looks really good on this card. I'm not seeing anything. So then I would look at the edges, and I can already tell there's some white showing right here. A little bit chipping. This edge you don't need to worry too much probably about because of all the white. The bottom edge looks pretty good, surprisingly, and the left side edge looks pretty good. Okay, so far I think in the card's looking like a 7 or an 8. No better than an 8. I think you so far would be lucky to get an 8, but I can't stress this enough. Flip it over to the back. The back condition matters just as much as the front. Okay, so what are we noticing? Noticing, let's look at the centering first. Centering looks pretty good on the back. Now we'll do corners, and I can already see white showing on this top left. The other corners look pretty good, actually. Yeah, they look pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to look at the surface, and I'm not seeing much. The holograms look pretty good. Sometimes these can get dirty, so you just wipe them off, but this card doesn't need wiping. I see some kind of paper ink gloss right here next to the S and selects. You can kind of see it. Pretty minor. The edges, bottom edges, a little bit of uplifting, but not terrible. So I think, to be conservative, this would be a PSA 7 with a hopeful 8, outside shot at an 8. That would be my pre-grade of this card. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, next up we got this 2021 Panini Mosaic Kurt Warner. Definitely short print. I think it's the kind of red wave, numbered out of 9, I believe. 9 out of 9. First off, let's look at the centering again. I'm looking at the Mosaic logo, and the gaps are kind of nice, very nice. So I like the centering. It's within Gem 10 range. That's a good start. Corners look pretty good. I mean, these thicker cardstocks, prisms and mosaics and optics, most of the corners won't have any issues. It's mainly the surface, so let's look at the surface. See a little mark right here, a little debris or something. Let's see if that, put a little wet and then a little dry, and it came off perfect. Not seeing anything else to the surface, which is really good. Yeah, I liked it. I don't even see one surface scratch on this card, and no weird indents or anything like that. Let's go ahead and look at the edges, and the edges look good. Nothing abnormal about the edges. Yeah. Okay, I'm liking the front. The front looks gem mint. So then I flip it over. Like I said, the back matters. Okay, so now I will look at the centering, and it is solid, still solid. Corners look good too. Yeah. No dings or anything. Okay, so now the surface, and that's really where you need to look for. Okay, dang it. Do you guys see it? Right there. It's the dreaded like fingernail indent. I hate those so much. Right, look at that. Look at all that. Ah. That's beyond frustrating because it is a gem mint card other than that. So this is a kind of card where I think PSA should give it an 8. I think they will give it an 8, unfortunately. I'd say that noticeable of one will knock it down 2 grades. I think a company like SGC will give this card a mint 9. So if I decide to grade, I would grade it with SGC and get the mint 9. Anything lower than a 9, I wouldn't grade. I would just like rather sell it raw. So, but yeah, PSA 8, SGC 9 on this card. Everything else looks pretty good. All right, next card. All right, next we have a really cool, I love this year, 2013 Prism Basketball. This is Kobe Bryant green parallel. Okay, let's start looking. The centering's there. There's nothing wrong with the centering. You can look at the logo. It's nice. It's within Gem 10 range. Let's look at the corners. Okay, I'm already seeing something. This corner looks good. That corner's solid. But look, there is a ding. Top left, definite ding to it. Looks like it needs wipe just a little bit more too on the top. But yeah, definite ding there, unfortunately. Other than that, the card's looking good. I'm looking at the surface. Not one surface scratch on this card, which is so rare. A little bit of debris. That's crazy. Dang. Sad about that ding. Edges look good. All right, let's flip it. Corners look good. I'm rotating it, angling it. Nothing to the surface. Yeah, I don't see much. It's just that front ding. It's disappointing. It doesn't even go through to the back. It's just the front. So, unfortunately, that ding will bring you down 2 full grades with PSA. Again, like I mentioned with the Warner, this has an outside shot at an SGC 9, but I think even they would give it an 8.5. I think PSA would give it an 8 because of that ding. It's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. Really cool card, though. All right, that's the Kobe. All right, next up we got a Pat Mahomes. He is the dad of the famous Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. This is actually his rookie card, 1992 Bowman. I bought maybe like 10 of them on ComC. I just think it'd be cool to own this in a PSA 10. He was a pretty good pitcher. So let's go ahead and look at the centering first and foremost. Looks like it's off a little bit left to right, a little thicker on the left than the right. Top to bottom's near perfect. So I still think it's within a Gem 10 range. It's close. It looks like maybe, I don't know, 60-40. So all other aspects of the card would need to be perfect for it to get a 10, a chance at a 10. So now let's look at the corners. Corners actually look pretty good. Yeah, corners are nice. Surface, no marks or anything like that, but I'm also looking for any kind of print defect, which I do see. Do you guys see it? It's subtle, but it's there. It's a little tiny fisheye. All right, it's right on his forehead. I don't like the position of that. Anytime they're on the head, it's not great. So it's right on his forehead. It's tiny, little green one. I think in combination with the centering, this card's looking like a mint 9. A little fisheye like that will bring you down 1 full grade. A bigger one might bring you down 2. Okay, let's look at the center. Back centering is nice. Corners are nice. Yeah, not seeing anything wrong with the corners. Surface looks pretty good. Looks really good. Okay, edges, not seeing much. Not seeing a weird Bowman ripple to the edge. Yeah, okay. This is a mint 9 card. I would give it a PSA mint 9 on the Mahomes. All right, next up we got a Caitlyn Clark. Yes, I'm finally on the bandwagon. She's good. She's really good. She's like the Michael Jordan of women's basketball. She's amazing. So I picked up this first card, Bowman U, the pink parallel. First thing I'm looking is the centering. Top to bottom is pretty nice, near perfect. Looks like left to right, it's a little bit off, a little thicker on the left than the right, but not too bad. I don't know, it looks close to 55-45 to me, which is a great sign. So far, it's a possible gem mint. Let's look at, I see a little bit of debris, maybe something right there. Just a little bit. Sorry, it's hard to do it while I'm filming. Yeah, I think it came off. Okay, so now I'm looking at the corners, and the corners are very nice on the corners. The surface actually looks pretty good. Little mark right here. Might just wipe down. Yeah, it's not bad. I do see a little bit right here. See that? I could try getting, a lot of time that doesn't come off. I'm going to set it down. What I would do is take the wet where it was right here And then I will press gently but firmly, if that makes sense, and circular motion. And if it comes off, great. If not the end of the world. Yeah, see all that right there. Okay, so edges look good. So far, it's a mint 9 copy, in my opinion. I'm looking. The back center is nice. The corners are nice. I'm not seeing anything wrong with the surface. Edges, a few of the common little nicks, but nothing major. Nothing that'll bring it down from a 9 already. Wow, it's a pretty nice card. Just the little surface imperfections, all that little line right here. I think it is a PSA mint 9. I don't think it's anything more. SGC might give it a 9.5, but still a cool card. I'll probably grade it. I like it in a mint 9. All right, here we go. All right, next up we got a Chauncey Billups rookie card, 1997, Topps Chromes, Tim Duncan's rookie year. I threw in this card because it shows a lot of examples of flaws, and it's a good example of cleaning. So a lot of times on these older Chromes, you're going to get that film, that coating of just, it just needs wiped. That's what it is. It's, look at it, you see fingerprints, and it covers the whole card. So on this card, what I would do, for some reason I do half at a time. I just have always done that. So take the damp microfiber, do the first half, wipe it down, wipe it down, wipe it down, wipe it down, wipe it down. There we go, there we go. Now take the dry one quickly and get that half dry. Get that half dry. I guess doing it this way, you can really see the difference. Okay, so there's the clean half, and look at the dirty, filmy half. See that? Makes such a difference. You got to do this. So then flip it over, and we're going to do this next half, the bottom half. See what I'm doing there with the edges? Boom, boom, boom. Quick dry, quick dry, quick dry, quick dry. Boom, wipe. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, there you go. Looks nice. But that is not the issue with the card. The issue, you guys know, it's the hulking, the greening. Look at all that. So this amount of greening is going to bring you down 2 grades. So say this was a Gem Mint 10, which I don't think it would have been, but it would be a 8. And I think this card is a solid 8 copy, actually. I would give it an 8 so far. Centering is a little thinner on the right than the left, but not too bad. Top to bottom, a little thinner on the top. Corners are nice and sharp. And edges are nice and clean too. Let's flip it over, make sure there's nothing major on the back. And the back might need wiping too. Don't forget the back. You gotta wipe the back. You see that? You see some smudges and stuff like that. So you just take the wet and the dry, and there you go. Yeah, it's all gone now. So a lot of times I'll wipe down the whole back, kind of like I did the front. Okay, so corners are pretty nice and solid corners. Looking at the surface, angling it, looks good. Edges look good. Okay, I'm confident in this card. I don't see anything major. I think it's just because of the hulking. It brings it to an 8. This is a PSA 8. All right, next up we have this on-campus Patrick Mahomes. This is a super short print, actually. I think it's a case hit. I bought it raw for like 80 bucks. I think I overpaid. I just like the card. Let's look at the centering first. The centering looks like top to bottom, a little thinner on the top than the bottom. I still think it's within a mint 9 range. Okay, let's look at the corners. Corners are pretty nice. Yeah, corners are looking good. Let's look at the surface. I do see already it needs a little wipe down and maybe a few little surface in nicks. Dimple, little bit of nick right here too. The bottom half looks pretty good. So let's just go ahead and take that gentle damp cloth and just wipe a little bit right there. Yeah. Okay, it's already looking a little better. Let's flip it a little bit. Okay. And just a quick little wipe of that. And quick little wipe of that right here. Yeah, still, see that? Yeah, still. This must be pretty condition sensitive. Okay, so far I'm thinking this card is an 8. Just because of those nicks and the centering I'm not too thrilled about. Flip it over. Let's see what we're working with on the back here. Back centering is nice. Corners, solid corners. Surface, I can already see 2 flaws. Can you guys see them? 3 flaws. I can see 3 flaws. One right here. A little nick right here, indent. One right here, kind of a surface dimple indent right there. And then the dreaded, I think it happens during the factory or how it lays in the pack or whatever, it's there. It's a whole band. It goes all through here. Okay. It almost looks like little dots or little X's. I'm going to call it the basketball net. It reminds me of a basketball net cross. All right. It's got the basketball net flaw to it. I'm not happy with that. I still don't think it would bring you down more than 2 grades, so I think this card is still an 8. I'm going to put this card as a PSA 8. Might wipe it down a little better. I don't know. I wouldn't even grade it, though. Anything below a 9, I wouldn't grade this card. I'll just sell this one raw. Send it to Chauncey. Hopefully just get my money back eventually. There you go on this Mahomes. A little disappointed on this one. All right, next up we have this nice-looking Zach Ertz Gold Prism. They're numbered out of 10. I think it's 2023. First thing, looking at the centering. Ooh, centering's nice. This is Gem Mint 10 nice centering. Let's look at the corners. Corners are nice. I don't see. They're sharp. They're really clean. Surface, let's look at the surface. Okay, I do see it. Do you guys see it? Right here, surface dimple, right there. Yeah, it's minor, but it's definitely there, and I see a little bit of debris and little smudge right there. The smudge is really easy. You don't need a wet one. That one looks like it's just a clean. Right there, see, gone real quick. Okay, that's borderline. I think it's big enough where it'd bring you down to a PSA mint 9. But let's flip it over the back. Okay, the back. Touch of white on the top left. Touch of white. Bottom left looks good. A little bit of uplifting, you see that? To that corner. Might be able to smooth out. Sometimes I just take my finger and I just smooth out like that. It might help it just a little bit. Other than that, I'm not seeing much. Edges look pretty good. Surface, no little indents that I hate so much. It looks good. Back surface looks nice. Okay, so touch of white on the top left. A little bit of uplifting in that corner. In combination, because of those, in combination with that little factory dimple, you're going to get a mint 9. I think this is a PSA mint 9. Possible SGC 9.5 is where I would put this card. Okay. All right, next up we have a 2009 LeBron James Topps. That's Topps' last year of producing basketball cards. I like this image a lot. This card is really condition sensitive in my opinion because of the back, you'll see. But let's go ahead and do our centering. Looks like a little thinner on the bottom, or I mean right side, if you look at it like this. A little thinner on this side than the left. Top to bottom looks pretty good, pretty solid. Corners... Front corners are there. Don't see anything wrong with those. Let's look at the surface. I can already see some surface problems. That's like a double little indent right there. And little mark right here. Nothing major though, which is good. I don't like that, but edges, a little bit of uplifting. You can just go like this a little bit, like I mentioned. No real surface scratches. Let's go ahead and flip it over. This is what makes it condition sensitive. All the back black borders, edges, corners, all that. You're gonna get a lot of chipping and white showing. Overall, this one, in comparison to most from this set, isn't that bad. Touch of white on that corner, bigger touch of white on the bottom left, maybe a touch on the top left, and that one looks pretty good. Back centering's pretty good. Edges, I do see some light chipping on this left side. Wow, the edges are pretty nice on this card. Surface looks good too. So it's just a little touch of white on the back corners, and that mark gets me a little bit. I think this is a solid. Do see a little bit of debris right here. Might need to come off, see it right there? There. Might need a little wet. We'll try it. So I'm thinking this card is an 8. It's a solid 8. I think it came off. Okay, so PSA 8 in my opinion. SGC like 8.5. Is my guess. Okay. All right, we're going to end with a newer card. Just came out, the Monopoly 2023 basketball. I pulled this one. I got a couple of the blasters. I didn't get anything major, but I like the look of this Luca, but unfortunately, I wanted to show you why it wasn't gradable. So let's just review this card. Centering's nice. You're looking at from this line to the end. From this line to the end, it looks pretty even to me. Corners are sharp. Very nice corners, edges clean. I don't see any weird surface dimples or anything, but I hope you guys can see it because it's a major flaw, which is unfortunate. It is the big band of refractor line, or whatever you want to call it, prism line. Boom, boom. That big and thick of one brings you down 2 grades with PSA, so that is an 8. No matter how nice this card is. So it's already looking like an 8. Flip it over. Corners look good. Centering's there. Edges are nice. Nothing major on the back. Maybe some debris or kind of residue stuck there. So that's when I take my little damp of wet. And then we'll take the dry. Ooh. Oh, perfect. This is a good example when we can use the Superman sock, my dress sock that I was talking about. So I usually lay down like a penny sleeve, and then I get to work with the with the sock here. So I would get a little bit of wet right here, and then so put your hand through the sock and stick your finger through like that. You're going to need that, all of it. And then you rub circular motion. And boom. Came off just like that. And that actually, that residue was really stuck on there. So you can tell it makes a world of difference. So get yourself a nice, soft, thin dress sock. And it comes in handy. Trust me. Okay. There you go. This is an 8, unfortunately. Okay. All right, there you go. I hope you found that helpful. I should have some really good reveals soon, some instant style reveals. I'm just waiting. They're really fun orders, but they're in assembly and they're taking forever. I do have one older reveal I filmed but never shared, so I might give that to you guys later in the week. But next week, I should have those instant reveals. The grades should pop, and I should have them back.